So today what I wanted to talk about was some of the big takeaways from High Performance Academy. Now if you've never been to High Performance Academy, you don't know what it is, it's an event that Brendon Burchard, he's the certified master coach for high performance coaching, who I'm certified under, has. It's a 4-day event, and we go through psychology, physiology, productivity, people skills, and purpose. These are sort of our pillars of high performance. You get these things dialed in, you'll live much more of a high performance life. And if you don't know what high performance living is, it's the feeling of full engagement, joy, and confidence for the long term, consistently. You follow? Doesn't that sound awesome? Full engagement, joy, and confidence. And I hope I'm doing justice for this, because I try to live to a role model for that. I hope I'm doing justice for this for you. So with that being framed, there's 3 big ideas that I wanted to make sure that I relayed to you. If you were at the event, it's just taking it further for you. If you weren't at the event, just think these things through. The very first idea, and this is something that Brendon talked a lot about at High Performance Academy, was beware of the lions. And I love the way he talked this through. So what is beware of the lions? He realizes that he's a very distractible person. And he is so focused that he has a metaphor that when he goes into a distraction, that he's literally in his mind opening the cage of a lion. And he does not want to be shredded, apart, dragged in, and crushed for hours by a lion. So he's like, beware of the lions. And the idea is this, and lions may not be the metaphor for you, but whatever it is for you, if you know what you have to do, and that goes back to what we talked about over here in the stress, overwhelm, and clarity, and in your life's ambitions. If you know what you have to do, what are your practices for handling, recognizing, setting intention for distraction? It's the number one problem so many people I've coached over the years, so many people I'm working with one-on-one over now, currently, but also over the years, have had, and that's distraction takes over. There's 3-4 hours just blown doing something that they know wasn't in cue, and they just had to handle it. They didn't say no to it. There's 3 premises, and I want to make sure we hit this for you. The highest performers know what to do, what to delegate, and what to delete. So are there any things in your life right now that you should be delegating? Are there any things that you should be deleting? Ariana Huffington, she just was at HPA, but I think it was in 2013 she was at HPA, and she talked about go through your task list and just get rid of 30%. If you keep a list of things you need to do, just get rid of 30% so you can bring more focus, more drive into things that matter for you. You follow? That may seem a little weird or a little bit hard to handle. If you don't have a list, that might be an issue. You might want to create one. Just saying. But that's the idea. If you want 2 great resources that sort of help in this area, finding life's ambition for you, but also being clear about what you're supposed to do versus what you're not supposed to do, I have one of the books here. It's called Deep Work by Cal Newport. And what this book does is it breaks down academically and just through some great stories exactly what we need to do to have more focused success in a distracted world. When I got through this, I was like, man, I'm robbing myself of the emotional depth of what I'm trying to accomplish because I'm allowing distraction. Now, here's what I've also done. I've met a lot of the highest performers through the mastermind that I'm currently in, through just being at the events that I go to, and I noticed the one thing they have dialed in is they have, maybe it's just an hour, but they have a block of time where everything's clear, their mind's clear, and they're able to just go after their dream. And it might be writing the book. It might be building a new business. But for that entire hour, that's all they do. They just go after their dream. And they're incredibly focused. All phones are off, buzzers, every notification's off. They've let the people know if they're in an office, for example, in this next hour. It's all about the focus. Another great book is Brendon's new book, is High Performance Habits. And obviously on the back, first item, if you can see it, it's clarity. And it's all about this wonderful exercise that goes beyond some of the work we actually do in high performance coaching to really help you create clarity about what you're supposed to be doing. And to develop the energy, the necessity, the productivity, the influence, and the courage. These are what he calls the HP6. The 6 core habits that can be learned and need to be learned, built, and maintained to really have a high-performance life. And guess what else? A high-performance business. So if you need some distinctions, he's got very clear stories, concepts, and what he calls performance prompts in here that will really help you. And the performance prompts are actionable steps you can take through these, you're answering statements that really help you formulate those kind of things. All coming from Beware of the Lions. So I hope that helps. I'm so excited for you. And you know what? If you want high-performance habits, reach out to me. I might have a special treat for you. Sound good? Just reach out and say, hey, Charlie, I was looking at your video and I'd love to get that book, High Performance Habits. Yeah, I'll get it for you. Yes, I just said that out loud and it's recorded. If you want high-performance habits, I will buy it for you. That's how much I want you to succeed. Does that sound good? My gift for you, you know what, Christmas is coming up, maybe the next few months. Be a gift, if it's your birthday, whatever. I'd love to help you out. And I like to put the money where my mouth is, if that makes sense. Like, just take care of it for you. So Beware of the Lions. There's 2 really powerful tools for you to get some mastery there and help you rank up in these areas. Now remember, this training here is to help with this. So we're giving you a place to keep perspective every month, but then we're also giving you tactics, mindset, and perspective to get those numbers up. Isn't that cool how this has been all sort of engineered? Something I spent a lot of time studying. And if you're interested in doing anything like this, that's a big part of what I do to help people create a vision, a strategy, and a plan for that. But the biggest thing that I had to study was adult learning theory. And there's a great book Brendon gave me called Accelerated Expertise that really kind of helps think through frameworks that can help people get down the path of growth faster than they would on their own. Pretty sweet, huh? All right, next one, expectancy. And I love this distinction that he brought up in High Performance Academy. And the idea is this: if you don't believe it, you won't achieve it. And that's from Earl Nightingale, one of the early on guys of personal development. And I want to say it was in the 50s, 60s, 70s, somewhere in there. But the idea is, and this is something that I have to work with a lot of people on, this may be happening for you, they just can't believe they're the person who can facilitate their dream. They got their dream, but they just can't believe, like, this is the kind of phrasing that comes up. Who am I to do this? Nobody's going to listen to me. What am I going to do here to grow? They just don't believe they're the one that can do this. So there's specific exercises, some are in the books that I've recommended, that will help you create that belief, create that why, that powerful emotional ignition that fuels you through lower tiered areas of self-confidence, self-doubt being up, these kind of things. And I just want to make sure, I want to make sure that you're taken care of there. And this phrase, this theme, is really pivotal. So let's shift this around a little bit. What do you believe in? What are you hoping to achieve? And how are you going to get there? You know, a lot of the work we do in high performance, but also a lot of the work that I do personally, is set really high beliefs about how I can serve and then just go after it. You know, there's a lot of people that I meet at the events that I go to that have great intentions, like 100% intention on doing something, but their follow through on actually doing it, 0, 10, 20%. So think about maybe the 3 big things you want to accomplish in the next, we'll say 10 years, and think about how clear you are on the intention, how clear you are on why it's important for you to go after that, and then how clear you are on the actions, the tactics that you need to make that real. Now, whether that's going on vacation, whether that's just exploring the world, whether that's going to California and exploring California, or whatever that would be, or whether that's really serving in a purposeful way, these are the connection points. And what our job is, my job is to help you get there faster, but also take action. That's where the coaching comes in. That's where the push is. So if you're committed to doing anything along those lines, share below, here's some things that I believe, that I want to go after, that I know I can achieve. Now, if you're on the live cast, you can share it below the live cast. If you're in our program on the recording, share it below in the recording. Would love to hear. Maybe I'll share as I put this up in the recording too, so that you can see what I believe in. Now share my purpose statement, so that you can see what I'm going after, to kind of set a tone so I can be a role model for you there. Of course, the idea is that I'm taking action on it, because that's what we're talking right now, right? Really powerful. So that was a huge takeaway, not only for me, but for a lot of other people that were blessed to be there too. Cool? How are we doing so far? So we have Beware of the Lions, gave you some tools, tactics, mindset to help in these areas. Some ideas, if you don't believe it, you can't achieve it. Again, that ties into purpose, daily plan, your life's ambition, your career mission or contribution, whatever that is. These are all really powerful tools to help you there. Cool? And the third big takeaway is to be the best. And I love this saying, you have to let go of the rest. This kind of capital puts an exclamation point poof, right on the end of everything we've been talking about. So if you read Deep Work, and you read High Performance Habits, and if you really want to take this to the next level, there's a very wonderful book by Gary Keller. It's called The One Thing. You read these 3 books, take your time with them. You're going to have the tactics, the mindset, to really go after, have clarity around what you want to be the best at. But this is the hard part, and I'm battling this right now. You got to let go of stuff. And I'm not battling this in terms of people per se. I'm battling this in terms of I have my hands in too much, and we're really trying to delegate parts of my space in terms of my different businesses to make sure that I'm living into the best of me and have that harmony in life. So I've been journaling on it as we come in the 4th quarter. We talked about this last monthly mastery, that idea of clean up, set up, level up. Oh, it's tough because I want to do it all, but I can't. So to be the best, you have to let go of the rest. So pick 1, 2, 3. I would even challenge you just to pick one. One area, your one thing that you want to be the best in, and really go after it. But you may be like, that's too peripheral. I don't understand what I would do to go after that. Then it's vision, strategy, and planning time. It's a big part of the work that I do in the business and internet space is to help people realize, here's all the things that I can do, and I got all these different things that I want to do, and they have their toe in part of them, you know what I mean? Like they're doing them, but not with any significance. And usually that's measured with income. But at the end of the day, they need to whittle it down to 1 or 2, maybe 3 things, and do those really well. My challenge is 1. So for me, the one thing that I want to do extremely well, that I want full focus, no distraction on, is building this beautiful community you're in. Is to really getting the people that I know I can serve in this community. So we have this catalyst, and we've got tons of beautiful people in here already, and I feel so incredibly blessed around that. So to be the best, gotta let go of the rest. So right now I'm in the process of whittling away different things, like just they're falling off. I'm delegating them, closing some things down, these kind of things. Does that all make sense? So with that being framed, would love to know from your perspective, what is it? What's your one thing that you know? And maybe it's just the one thing you want to get done by the end of this year. Maybe it's the one thing you want to go after in 2018. To be the very best at it. So break out your journal and write down a couple questions. First, define the one thing. Second, why is that the one thing? You want some bonus questions? What are the actionable steps that you're going to need to go after that one thing? Another bonus question, what is it you're going to have to learn? Skills, abilities, knowledge. We call that competency in high performance. To really get masterful in that one thing. And then the final bonus, what are you going to take action on? If you can do one item a week to move towards that for the next 10 weeks in 2017 and maybe for the first 12 in 2018, that one step per week that you're going to do to really move forward. So many people try to take on too much. I always break it down and say, what's the one thing you can do this week? And maybe dedicate 30 minutes a morning or 30 minutes at night to increasing your competency, to going after that dream. It's just small, subtle shifts over the long term equal exponential result. If you haven't read the book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, strong recommendation for that. It's really, really powerful. So I hope this helps. These 3 points are everything towards ranking these up. Does that all make sense? I hope it does. And thanks again for being here. I'm so incredibly excited for you to be here, get these distinctions, to push this forward, to have the positive ripple effect in the world. Love, love, love this. Okay, so now, one of the big things that I took away personally, this is the practice for me, and I figured I would share it with you because it's something I'm working on immediately, is this 20 plus 3 rule. And it's something Brendon went over at High Performance Academy. I took a lot out of it, and I really want to forward that for you too. Because this is a game changer when you're playing at a high level of high performance, or if you're just stepping into going after that one thing, or being the best. Cool? So I hope you enjoy this. 20 minutes of intention and visualization. And then a solid 3 hours. So let me break that down for you. The goal here, and this is something Brendon was talking about that he does, that I just tested out this week, has been a game changer for me, is you already may know, if you're a high performer or you're just somebody who's well organized, you may already have what you're going to do in a given day, right? These are my lists. This is my list, what I'm going to take action on. The idea is to take 20 minutes in the morning, maybe with your coffee, maybe just out on the porch, in your breakfast nook, on a walk, and just think about, visualize how you're going to do those things throughout the day. But here's the kicker. How the best of you is going to show up to do those things throughout the day. So just so you know, today when I did my 2-mile run, I purposely put a 20-minute walk on the back of it, which was coming over the bridge and all this stuff around where I'm at. And I just visualized, when I go into my trainings today, here's who I want to be. Here's how I want to show up. Here's the fun that I want to have. And I visualized all the different aspects of it. Thought through my frameworks. So I hope I'm delivering for you. I feel like I'm a little better in my game, and I feel like I've been pretty good. But that's the piece, the visualization. Imagine what your life would be like if you visualized your day in advance. If you visualized inserting fun into your day in advance. If you visualize completing specific tasks throughout your day. What does that look like for you? Is that powerful or what? So then we forward that into a 3-hour power block of production. So a solid 3 hours of pure production, keeping in mind to take a break every 50 to 75 to 90 minutes. I try to practice of every 50. I'm going to go over a tool for you in a little bit that I think you'll like. If you have a Mac, you can use it. I'm pretty sure they have a PC version out there as well. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But the idea is this, is that I want to make sure that I get the bulk of what I'm responsible for done on a given day in 3 hours before noon. One of the most incredible experiences of coaching is you get other people's stories. And one of my good friends, I'll shout out to him, Burchard, he was telling me that his mom would aim to have her day complete, all the responsibilities of what she wanted to do, by noon, so the rest of the day was hers. Think about that for a minute. She got up bright and early, he said. She would do all the housekeeping and things that she needed to do. I don't know if she worked, but whatever her responsibilities were, she aimed to have those done by noon, so the rest of the day was hers. And it sounded like, from what Burchard told me, is that she had a high level of freedom in her life. A high level of being present with her kids. Does that all make sense? So our job, as we think this through, is to visualize our day. 20 minutes. What is it going to look like for the best of me to show up with all the different responsibilities that I have? Spend that time in a peaceful place. And then, if there's specific, what we call PQOs, prolific quality output. I think it's productive quality output. It's in the book. Whatever the things are that you need to achieve that day, your PQOs, the absolute things that are going to move your life forward and serve, that's what's put into 3 hours. Does that make sense? Beyond that, you're handling the responsibilities of life. You're handling, laundry, cleaning, being with the kids, dinner, lunch, whatever that is. But it's amazing if you really get this. You do this 20 hours of visualization, and my practice is to do it before 7 a.m. I get up at 6 usually. And then 3 hours of productive quality output, or prolific quality output. And what that means for me is to really own what I need to accomplish today and push to the world. If you tie it back to the happiness, the way I describe that as an entrepreneur or as a thought leader, that means in that 3-hour time block, and here's a very great example, an illustration for you. The very first hour is learning something new. So maybe reading a book. The second hour is creating something from that. The third hour is sharing or marketing that in the world. You see? So for me, if I created just maybe the top 3 takeaways from high performance habits, would read, then I would go through in the second hour and create something, and kind of map it out, or make a worksheet, or whatever that would be. In the third hour, I would be just sending emails, I would be doing Facebook Lives, and all helping create that sensation of growth for others that I'm experiencing, which is in total alignment with my brand, helping people improve their lives and grow their businesses. You see how that all interconnects? So I wanted to make sure I covered that for you because this has been a huge game changer. And then the final part, and I was going to check to ensure we had time for this, which looks like we do, we got a few minutes left, is the relationships part exercise we did. And I'm only going to plant the seed. We'll talk about this more in the business mastery in about 45 minutes. But the idea is this: define what a great relationship is for you. So the goal that we had to do at High Performance Academy was to sit down and say, what are the 5 ranking factors for a great relationship? So think about that for you. What are the 5 ranking factors for a great relationship? And then the hard part. How well have you been doing in the last month? 1, not good at all. 10, owning it in each of those. And I'm going to just share one since we're short on time. One of mine is presence. Full engagement, joy, full presence with you. And I hope I've been delivering today for you. And so I rated how well I've been doing in the last month on that. And there was a couple low numbers when I was with, my family. I was just like kind of in my own space. And that's okay. I mean, we have our own time. But there were times when I should have been in their space, when we were eating, for example, and being more present. So that's what came up for me. So that's just one. What is that? Now your challenge is to have your family do the same exercise and for you to share it at dinner or around a meal. You up for that challenge?